Hi, Lisa Marie. This is Alex from Yummy, and I wanted to give you some feedback on your website. You posted this a while ago, but I wanted to do you justice and offer some very, very specific feedback on your new website. In general, the website looks great. It is technically sound, it is fast, so I don't think on a technical point of view, there's anything that you really need adjusting. However, from a copy and a structural point of view, I want to offer you a few suggestions. The first thing is that when we land on your site now, I like to pay attention at what jumps out to me first. And of course, your name is on the top, and then you have the headline, which is the title of your book. Then the first few words on the paragraph are the title of your book, and the image, the words that stand out from the cover are the title of your book. So you really have a redundancy here going on, and I would challenge you to think about what is just something that just changing that paragraph into something where you don't have to restate the title right after you've stated the title, and also whether there's the headline. Could the headline be your subhead for your book? Given that the headline is already visible here, could you say um, insider advice from a top female CEO as your headline, or place the subhead somewhere right under this in a font that is not as small as this one, but not as large as the title, so that at least the side benefit of reading your book is apparent to visitors. So that's number one, is just kind of eliminating the redundancy or playing around with that so that instead of wasting that space stating the same thing again and again, you use it to draw people in the topic of your content right away. Second is that what I would do is separate this sentence from the next one into a separate paragraph. Um, I think in the English language, I didn't graduate from school in English. I graduated in Spanish, but I believe that one of the rules is that a sentence should not live on its own in a paragraph. That's kind of a rule of proper English. However, in web, we usually take a license with that, and you want to avoid having that great wall of text because it's difficult to read, and you want to sort of offer very, very nugget, bite size things that a visitor can read. And certainly, the first sentence could be just one bite, and then separate the second paragraph so that there's a little bit of air and space in between them, and it's easier to consume. Um, I'm going to leave the read more for later because I want to just talk about a few things here. Um, the bio looks great, the photo looks great. I mean, everything is fine. The testimonials are awesome. And then you got the purchase to book, which is your call to action. Now, when you click on the purchase, it takes me in the same tab. It takes me to Amazon. Now, but what you want to do is actually code that, and that's just a few words in that line of code, so that this purchase opens in a separate tab. Because you never know if a visitor um, kind of wants to see purchase details like the price and does the book have any reviews yet, etc., etc. And then after seeing that, they may want to go back to the website to read more information about the book. So you never want to assume that this is their way out. And even though clicking on the back button on a browser is as simple as just a click, you always want to just kind of open that in a separate tab so that if they want to close that tab and go back to your site or look for your contact information or whatever else you offer on your site, they can just do that very easily. All right. Then I have the download chapter. You have that there, which opens up and is pretty awesome. I mean, you're offering a free chapter, etc., etc. That's cool. It was strange to me why you chose chapter 9, which lands right in between your book, kind of without the context maybe of what the book is all about. You may know your reasons, and this is not a criticism by any means. It was just strange because usually when you offer something free, it's usually the introduction to kind of get people a lead in into the book, and then leave them kind of enticed to read the rest. but I assume you've thought about this and strategically you felt that this was something strong that you needed to do. So what I wanted to go back to the read more. So when you click on the read more, what I expect on read more is exactly that, reading more about the book. However, the volume of content between this paragraph, which again I suggested splitting it into two, the volume content between this and the next one, the next page, is about the same. So from an experience point of view, I don't feel like I've landed at the right place. I'm like, well, I clicked on read more, and even though this may be different in terms of the way it's written, in terms of volume, it doesn't feel like more content. So what I would suggest is, one, actually place more content on this page, or two, change the read more to something else. So what am I clicking on? Why should I click on this? And then just kind of in line with what my expectations are when I land on this page. And then finally, here, after the read more, you're saying click here to download an informational PDF. And then kind of a flyer comes out, which is not clickable. So I'm really I've landed on a dead end in terms of my experience, even though this does open in a separate tab. Just kind of, you're not leading me to a natural progression of ideas. First, you presented the book, then you asked me to click to read more. I clicked read more, and then your call to action is to download a pamphlet, which the pamphlet says to pre-order the book, etc., etc. But now from here, I have to manually import or manually type up your address on Amazon, or like manually open a new tab, type Amazon.com, then look for the title of your book, then go back. I forgot the title of your book, so what is it? Never Drink Coffee, etc., etc. So you're putting a lot of stumbling blocks from a natural user experience to get to where you want them to be, assuming that where you want them to be is at Amazon. So I would challenge you here and say, instead of downloading the informational PDF, why don't you just add their information on why they should pre-order, the reasons why. Just pitch the pre-order and then add a button to open Amazon in a separate tab, like I said before. That's sort of a more natural progression of that end goal and where you want them to go, rather than this dead end that you've inserted. Other than that, the only other thing is that I don't remember in your main page seeing the Morgan James logo, and here you're showing it. So it's it seems like a very key, critical piece of information, this identity that just suddenly popped up on this page, but it's not familiar to me because it, in my mind, it should have been present from the very beginning, so that you say this is a book under the Morgan James, even though it could be as small as you can make it. It doesn't have to be very prominent, but it's kind of strange to me to introduce a new identity piece in an interior page that is not expressed in the landing page. So anyway, this is what I can tell you in terms of the user experience. I hope this has been helpful. I'm here to respond to any other questions you might have, and just reach out to me anytime. Thank you, Lisa.